Holy sh! This movie was atrocious. Let's get into it.
You're showing off.
Maybe a little.
What is going on, everybody? It is I, yours truly, the Ace, here with my review to Madam Web. And before I get started, join me down below in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this movie, if you even decided to see it. If you didn't, I don't blame you. Like, I wish I didn't see this movie. Had to see it for the channel, but it's all good. So I just got out of the theater. Let's get right into my thoughts. This movie might be the worst comic movie I've ever seen. Like, and that's saying something, considering, you know, we've had Morbius, which to even put this movie in that conversation should show you how bad that it really is. It was bad, guys. Bad writing, terrible plot, bad performances and acting, terrible CGI. Everything about this movie, like I said, was just atrocious. Like, Sony, stop making these Spider-Man adjacent movies that nobody is asking for. This movie was crazy on how bad it actually was. And when my 2024 movie rankings come out, this is definitely going to be last. It's going to really be hard for me to believe I can watch a movie this year that will be worse than this one. This movie was terrible. Where this movie fails to me, instead of focusing on the main characters and their abilities by telling a good cohesive story, it focuses on using the characters to tease Spider-Man future characters and possible future events. It's trying to build this big Spider-Man universe, but it's not focusing on the foundation of that. And it's like, we're going to have future projects, which I hope not after this. And it's not doing a good job at telling us a story in the now. And it's just, it's more focused on that and Spider-Man Easter eggs all throughout the movie. Like, she works with Uncle Ben. What a coincidence. We're going to focus more on going to Mary Parker's baby shower and play a game to guess the name of the baby, which we already know. And obviously, due to contractual reasons, they can't even say the name, because right when they're about to say it, other stuff happens. And it's just left to be like, oh, well, yeah, that was Peter. No shit. Yes, that's Peter Parker. And it's just, you know, that type of stuff is sprinkled all throughout the movie. And it just has dull, really dull performances by each character. Also, really bad character revelations throughout this movie. Like, the three girls, I understood theirs. Theirs were cool. They all had parental problems, and it kind of brought them all together. But their characters all lacked depth and development. Like, it was like they were only in the movie to be saved by Dakota Johnson, and they weren't worried about developing these characters at all. They all had bad chemistry, though, but, you know, it tried to bring them together. But Dakota Johnson's character revelation was definitely kind of out of nowhere. How, you know, she grew up with a lot of animosity towards her mom, and during one scene where she uses foresight to kind of go back to the past and see her mom pregnant with her, and, you know what I'm saying, it's a scene where the baby kicks, and the mom is just in pain, and she's just like, yeah, the baby's trying to stop me from working. And then Dakota Johnson's character is like, why do you hate me? Like, what? Where did that even come from? Like, it felt so forced for you to bring some sort of tension in there, and it just didn't work at all whatsoever. One thing that bothered me, and I'm just being petty with this point right here, was Dakota Johnson's character and her ability to be like a master car thief, where she messes around and steals a cab, takes the license plates off, and is like driving around for like 90% of the movie. Then later on, steals an ambulance as well. And I'm just looking at it like, what is this, Grand Theft Auto? And it actually is like a major plot point, because she uses it, like the cab and the ambulance, to stop the villain. I'm just like, it kind of just took me out of it a little bit. Now let's talk about the villain. Yet again, a very forgettable villain that's not really developed well. A guy who gets the spider, gets rich, gets the powers, gets a vision that the girl's going to kill him for some reason that they don't explain. And in order to ensure his future, he has to kill them. And it was just pretty much cut and dry like that. Pretty basic. Not saying the actor himself was bad, but I just think him, along with everybody else, was just a victim of just bad writing and bad dialogue. It was really hard to really understand what was going on with him. And it just led to his character just being very, very uninteresting. They definitely feel like they didn't know what to do with this film. They wanted to make it, but they had no direction. It feels like Spider-Verse meets Terminator meets That's So Raven. It's like all over the place with the story, her character, her abilities, especially in the third act. It just goes in all these different directions, and it's trying to give you an action-packed finale that just didn't seem that interesting. And I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of ready for this to be over. Yet again, typical Sony fashion, they're just giving us another Spider-Man adjacent movie by saying like, look, you love Spider-Man, so by association, you should love this too. But no, this movie absolutely fails on so many different levels. Now, I'm not sitting here saying I could have made a better movie. Making movies is tough, I know that. But I look at this movie and think to myself, how hard could it really be? Like, who greenlit this movie? It was just all over the place. A better premise of this movie could have easily been Dakota Johnson's character gets her abilities, a Madam Web origin, building a team of Spider Women, and instead they just use her character to tease future Spider-Man character possibilities. And this movie was just a big tease. It felt like a teaser trailer, and it was marketed terribly with the one trailer. No wonder. And who knows what really, you know what I'm saying, what they really left out. It was a lot of rewrites and stuff like that as well. Maybe another, victim of rewrites. But like I said, dull, terrible performances. I'm not saying the actors themselves were terrible. I haven't seen much of them. Dakota Johnson, haven't really watched any of her movies. Sydney Sweeney was a fan of her from Euphoria. But I'm not saying the actors were bad, but maybe they just knew they were either in a bad movie or the writing was just that much terrible. Like the Fox movies. Like the Fox movies had good actors, but terrible writing. And this movie just felt like another victim of that. Once again, thank you to all the members of the channel. Appreciate you guys. And if you aren't a member and you want to be one, the link is in the description below. But overall, I did not enjoy this movie. I do not recommend it. If you want to see it, it's up to you guys. But if you're someone like me that's tired of these Spider-Man adjacent movies, I recommend skipping this one. I wouldn't even stream it. Like I said, bad writing, terrible performances, bad CGI, bad plot. Movie was just all over the place. They clearly don't understand this character or what the people want. Sony being Sony, yet again, just thinking they know. I would just wish that they would really stop making these movies already. They won't. They make too much money off of it though. But as far as a grade, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. Definitely probably going to be one of the worst movies I saw this year. Can't imagine another movie in the 2024 year that could be worse than this. It's definitely probably going to rank really low at the end of the year ranking. But we'll see what happens. But appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thank you guys. As always, thank you for tuning into the Ace Avenue. I am yours truly, the Ace. Adios.